afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Week 7 recap of
What?
fantasy football.
Harsh
Reality.
reality.
It goes. I feel like a parent that doesn't want wants their child to stop growing.
Yeah.
Like, don't do it. You're already in the 7th grade. Stop growing up. I don't want you to leave.
Yeah.
It
I
goes
know
so
it.
fast. A lot of great notes from this week. A lot of them. I think for me, the wildest note is just that it's a crazy year when both the Pittsburgh and Baltimore defenses are total shite. I mean, this was unbelievable and unimaginable. And when we start talking about Chase, Jamar Chase, and those short passes, he was just cutting up Pittsburgh. Okay, so sometimes you say something and you're like, they must know something I don't know. I've never played professional football. I've never I've never played real football, just fucking backyard football. But then you watch the morning shows, right? Like Get Up, and they're saying what you were saying, right? And they're like, why are you not disrupting him off the line? Why are you letting him have that over and over again? Why are you still single man coverage on him? And I'm like, oh my God, I wasn't wrong. I was right. The professionals are saying it. These are, Super Bowl winning players here. And I was like, I knew it. I was like, why aren't they hitting him off the line? This makes no sense to me. They were like committed to this weird, man coverage where they had to give him cushion. And he was like,
Yeah.
fine, I will go right up to your face and score and just get it right in front of you.
Yeah. It is a little baffling. I think that there was definitely some injuries, on the defensive side that has had some impact, but yeah, it doesn't look at all normal. It is very odd.
I was expecting something to be totally different coming out of halftime, and they just let them continue to do it. I think he had something in the neighborhood of 16 receptions, something like that.
Yeah,
Something outrageous.
20 targets.
Yeah.
Or maybe more. That's ridiculous.
It was
And they just
insane. It was
we
insane.
said it in the podcast earlier. He's a one-trick pony, but it's a hell of a trick.
Hell of a trick. Hell of a trick.
Can't stop it. Why change it?
Unreal.
I learned something that I never thought that was possible. I learned that it is possible for an NFL football team to score 33 points in one quarter
Oh my God. What
while
an
stopping
ending.
the other team. Unreal.
And if
I've
you're
never,
like me, you're like, who are my friends that are Broncos fans? I got to hit them up right now. And I was
they were
like,
at the
what a
game.
game. Yeah. I was like, what a game. What a game. This is unbelievable. This is incredible. Like, I was legit losing my mind during that, especially since it was against the Giants. And at the same time, watching the Cowboys winning their game. And I'm like, this couldn't work out any better for us.
Beautiful.
We're beating
Beautiful.
Washington. The Giants are blowing it versus the Broncos, and we look spectacular all in one take. I got very drunk, and I shouldn't have, but I did. I got very drunk,
I was very jealous.
and I was just I was just screaming at my poor neighbors. They must have heard me. Now, when you live on the West Coast, these London games, why you have an LA team in a London game to begin with, nobody in LA can see them. That's 6:30 in the morning here after a Saturday night out. Like, I just don't understand what the thinking is of even bothering. Although, as we discussed in last week's preview show, I thought that, this would favor Jacksonville. And I remember turning on the game at around 7:30 because I got up. I was like, I want to just catch up with it and get
See
this
where
in.
we're at.
And just see where I'm like, and right as the announcer's going, boy, I thought all the jet lag was going to be on the Rams, and I'm like, start it up. And if you woke up and you were playing against Devontae Adams, your coffee tasted terrible on Sunday.
Unless you probably added some whiskey to it. If you woke up to that, I mean, who could blame you? Even sober October.
I quickly searched through all of my matchups to see if I was facing him in any league, and luckily I wasn't. Didn't help me though. I did lose a bunch this week, but
I
was very glad to not be facing that's a tough start to your day on Sunday.
Bad way to wake up.
Yeah.
It's funny because that's what I had learned as well, is that narratives must be taken with a grain of salt. All of the narratives in that Jags Rams game were rather positive for the Jags. Playing at Wembley. They were there early. the jet lag should be on the other side. They had lost Puka Nakua, all of the things. And it was just like, well, gosh, you know, this is going to be a good game for them. This is a place that they can win
Yeah.
and really make a statement. And they just are bad. So the narrative's got to take them with a grain of salt. They can all line up right.
And here are two narratives that I think we need to just really just kind of, I think you could chisel them in stone. Number one, Trevor Lawrence is a beautiful idiot. And that's it. I mean, the guy's just a dummy. He made so many bad choices. I'm like, how can you have all this talent and stink this bad? It's got to be you. It must be you. And finally, second note, Cam Little, you fired. How do you go? You can hit it from 70. You can't hit extra points. I'm sorry, he's off of all of my team. And they're going to Dubai anyway. So it was a perfect time to drop him. I'm sure I am not alone in this situation. I'm sure everyone else is like, man, I will not miss you. I'll be surprised if he's still the kicker when they come back. I also won't be surprised if he is, because there's just a total dearth of decent kickers in the NFL.
Absolutely. You know, I do have one other takeaway before we get into some of the news, and that is, my takeaway is DeAndre Swift listens to this show, and we fuel that man. Whenever we start burying him, he shows up and balls out. I'm telling you, we are responsible for his greatness.
But because let's not forget, we were saying pick up Monangai.
Yes,
he had a good game and seems to be scraping off a little more of that share.
Well, we'll be talking about him later in the episode.
Yes, we will. But someone ran out there and was like, "I'll take as many shares of him as I can find."
Very smart. Very smart.
Started nut. Because I would just, if we could revisit an old segment called Fuck You.
Let's do it.
I would like to send a great big fuck you to the Washington Commanders. Sure, your efforts led to an incredible victory by my beloved Dallas Cowboys. But
go Cowboys.
Luke McCaffrey has scored in 2 out of the last 3 games. He's a guy who's, you know, obviously got some kind of chemistry. You called out Chris Moore as having even more chemistry, and they're like, you know what? None of them. We're going to elevate this old Robbie Chosen guy, and we're going to just throw it to him all afternoon. We've decided it's just all about
Well,
him.
honestly, if you look at the fantasy points, half PPR, the highest scoring wide receiver was Chris Moore.
Oh, was he really?
It was.
Well, and I saw him catch a few.
It was 7.9 points. I mean, it was. Yeah. That was the highest. McCaffrey had 0.
Oh, they didn't even let him on the field.
No, just for special teams.
Just for special teams. They were like, "Nah, we don't need you." And I'm like, "What is going?"
You kind of might, yeah.
Yeah, like he's been out there all these 3 wide receiver sets. Like he's been part of the certain situational packages, and now you're like, we can't use you now. Let's just elevate that guy from and send him in. Robbie Chosen. That guy that was good on the Jets 6 years ago. Bring him out.
Carolina, was it? I think, was it Carolina or the Jets? He always has one of those, you know, crazy Rashid Shaheed, you know, because he's really fast and he gets the long touchdown once in a while.
I rage dropped McCaffrey in all formats, and I meant to not start him. I took him out of everything except for one thing, and it tanked that team.
Sure. Yeah. Well, sadly, you know, we had a lot of injuries this week. Jaden Daniels, he left with a hamstring. He's questionable for this week.
Which it looked like an ankle. It looked like it was a high ankle the way he was landed on.
Well, you know, it was odd because he ran off the field, like literally he jogged off the field, and it was like, oh, okay, he seemed okay. I thought, but now they're saying questionable. I don't know. It didn't look so bad, but you know, I'm not an athlete. I have no idea. You know, I do 20 minutes of stretching before I go on a walk. So, you know, and I still hurt myself.
I do as well, and that's just our age. That's what you should be doing that. And that's a lesson for everyone. Start stretching now.
Stretching is really important the older you get.
So important.
It sucks, but I hate that I'm there where I'm like, oh yeah, stretching. Must do it.
Must start with stretching.
Stretching every morning.
The must start for this week, stretching.
Yeah. Sucks. You know what else sucks is that Bryce Young left with a high
Yeah,
ankle
ankle.
sprain, and I don't know. He'll probably. I don't know. Honestly, he's questionable. It's possible he'll miss. And Justin Fields left with an invitation from his coach to please leave.
Yeah, he
And
got they benched him. Yeah,
yes,
who they put in Tyrod Taylor, was
Tyrod
it?
Taylor, Tyrod, come on,
And
man.
Tyrod was like, "Where's Robbie Chosen? Where's
Right.
Robbie Chosen?"
Yeah, it was tough sledding for everybody. But so he gone. Darren Waller left the game with a
Oh,
pectoral injury. I guess it's a strain and not a tear. So he could be back, but that's not
he's
great.
just one of those guys that you were just kind of waiting for it to happen. And I was beginning to think, you know what? Maybe he's reborn. Maybe this is
Yeah,
going to be that season. He just needed his body to fully heal and get right. And maybe
yeah.
he's reborn and then he gets injured. I'm like, or
It
maybe he's
sure looked
still.
it sure looked great. I mean, what was it? 3 touchdowns in 2 games, his first 2 games. Granted, it was 4 catches or whatever, but they were all touchdowns. It was like, well, I'll take those.
He was getting
That's
more and more
fine.
involved. It was, and if you were
Yeah.
one of those teams searching for a tight end and you grabbed him off the waiver wire, you were so proud of yourself.
Oh, for sure.
You were like, fuck, set it and forget it. Well,
Well, I don't think I would drop him yet.
no,
I
don't
mean, I
drop
think
him.
it
No,
might
no,
be a
no,
couple
no,
weeks,
no, no,
but
no.
he
Don't
could
drop
be.
him.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Okay, good. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Uh,
In terms of we were worried about what was going to happen with Dowdle, with Hubbard coming back, and I assumed there would be some kind of a split. They let Hubbard start, and in many ways, I agree with that because you don't like a guy just to outright lose his job because of
yeah,
injury,
especially one that's been very good for your team.
and one that you're paying a ton of money to. But over the
Yes.
course of the game, I think it became more than apparent that Dowdle is the better running back.
You really think it did?
Yeah, I really think it did, and he was
Chuba
more
looked pretty good
effective.
out there too.
He
He had a
looked.
nice run. He
I'm not
busted
saying there
off.
won't be a
Yeah,
split anymore.
right.
I just think going forward, you're gonna see it be Dowdle's the Gibbs and Hubbard is the McCaffrey.
I don't know. I mean, this was a 54-46 split. Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard.
I think it's
Yeah, so he at least in his first week back. I think that what you're the good thing about Dowdle is I believe that he has definitely shown that he is the goal line, the short yardage guy. He's the baller. He's going to get the
and,
tough yards,
and
but
it
he can
seems
also run. Yeah,
Yeah, and it
fast.
also seems like Monangai is turning into that in Chicago. Which one of the things we used to say about DeAndre Swift all the time was, yeah, he can score. He gets a lot of yards between the 20s and
Between the
nothing at the
20s.
80s.
Yep.
And now it seems like they figured that out. They're like, oh yeah, you do between the 20s, then this guy comes in and he gets it in the end zone.
And he looks really good too.
He
I mean,
does.
Swift won't these trends will not continue. I can tell. I mean, unless he's listening to this right now.
Yeah.
But you know who else left was Cole Kmet left. Did you notice that? Cole Kmet
No.
left that Bears game with a back injury. Um,
Ooh,
and I just
I
want,
think I need to update my waiver wire
yes, you
real quick.
do. I was going to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
and there is something I will say a little more about in the waiver wire section, but I just want to take a moment to just say how sad I am for a player whose career is over and who I really thought could have been great. And I tried to make it happen this year. I really thought it was his year. Kendre Miller is done for the
Oh,
season.
yeah,
And
yeah, I
I
saw
believe
that.
his whole career is over because
You only
he's
get
played
so
like,
many chances,
yeah.
and he's never really gotten up there and out there. Yeah.
Unless you're Josh Gordon, who for some reason got unlimited chances. He just did drugs all the time and they just kept letting him come back. Anyway, but yeah, so Kendre, I'm sorry, man. It sucks. I'm sad for you. I really thought you could have been something, but your body just does not want to play football. So he's gone. BTJ at the end of the game, that shoulder injury where he should not have been in the game. Let me start
Yeah.
with that
Yeah.
because he was already banged up. They were down 35-7. It was over. It was a shit show. It was he should not have been in there. And of course, at the end, meaningless garbage. He got, I don't know, it was somebody, I think it was a missed catch or something, but he got hit anyway. And his shoulder, he looked really like he was in a lot of pain. So That's somebody else to
Luckily, they
monitor.
are on bye this week, so that's good. He'll have a chance to hopefully heal up.
That is good. What about Nico Collins as well with that, his head slamming back like that? I don't know, man. That looked bad, but I thought the same thing about Marvin Harrison the week before, and he was out there.
Yep.
So, but he is certainly hurt. And again, another guy who I think his career is over. Certainly his 1,000 yard streak per year for his whole career is over, and that's Mike Evans. Came
Oh
back,
yeah, yeah.
caught two balls, didn't give him credit for either one. And the second one he couldn't hold on to because he was in the middle of getting concussed while breaking his collarbone. I mean, just sucks. Just made me sad. Um,
And you know
and
what's funny is because I was shocked
yeah,
to see both he and
and
Amuka and Becca were playing, and I was like,
I was shocked
oh,
too.
okay. But luckily I played Ubeka, who still didn't do very much anyway. It really was Tez Johnson,
It was.
which was another guy I tried
Well,
to grab as many shares of. So
nobody did anything. Look, the defense of Detroit stymied that entire offense, right? Nobody got anything. I mean,
yeah.
Rashad White didn't get anything, and Baker was off. He was slinging it, but he was off.
Yeah, well, he didn't know these guys. Yeah, the timing wasn't there. It was not. It's definitely not a good day for them for sure.
Yep. And
Kendrick
that's it.
Kendrick Bourne fell back down to earth after two
Right.
spectacular outings. But nobody did. Kittle put up a
Kittle
bagel,
0.0. Blue
and
Tarski.
I took out Jake Ferguson
Oh,
and put in Kittle
oh,
because in my
too
mind I'm
many
like they're
targets to
gonna
go
need
around.
yes.
Yeah, get it.
I was like, they have Lamb back. They don't need him as much over there in Dallas. They have nobody over in San Francisco. He's gonna be a target monster. And instead, they're like, we're not gonna throw it to him even once.
Crazy. That was
And
really weird.
Ferguson gets 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, the guy who couldn't score at all suddenly is on a scoring frenzy. But the fact that you have him is wonderful. You're very fortunate to have that guy on your team because he's going to keep, as long as he stays healthy, he's going to keep getting those targets. We just saw it. And it looks like Lamb just gives him more opportunity, not
Yeah,
less.
seems
So,
like it. And went the other way with it. I outcoached myself a lot this weekend.
yeah,
I made a lot of last minute changes that I absolutely, but I didn't feel great about my lineups going into the day. And I knew I was going to like do the final set morning of, and I
right.
shouldn't have
Always
done that. That always fucks me. I should have just stuck with what I'd stuck
the
with all
original
week.
gut, your
Totally.
feeling. Yeah.
And because it would have been
The
much better,
narratives, the
much better.
narratives get into your
Yeah, they
brain over the
do.
course of,
And I convinced and let me just say this. There was one game, and I wish I could remember the name of the running back, but he was a backup running back, came into the game. It was Jacksonville, I believe, running back. And
this week or
no, this was years ago.
okay.
Okay. And that's why I can't remember the name of the player
Mm.
because he only had like 2 decent seasons and then he was a washout. But this
Bortles.
game comes in and I pick him up, but I don't play him, right?
I remember exactly who it is. Can't remember his name. Know exactly what you're talking
And he
about.
scored like 4 touchdowns. And I whatever his name was, I remember the announcers going, boy, it's so-and-so's day. Just name it after him. He owns this day. And I just remember sitting there being so mad that I didn't stop him. And that has affected my ability to ignore the mystery box. Ever since then, now the mystery box has been good to me. It worked out with Dowdle, you know?
Hold on. I think I've got it. It's something like I remember it was like Gaskin? Was it? Was his name
Not Gaskin.
Gaskin?
It wasn't Gaskin. That guy was in
Okay.
Miami, but he did that
Dang
too.
it. Dang it.
But it was a
Okay. All
guy in
right.
Jacksonville.
I thought I had it. Okay.
But
Go
yes,
on.
and ever since then, I'm like, I'll take the mystery box.
Let's go.
And it really hasn't burned me that bad until McCaffrey. The
Yeah.
mystery box, it killed me on McCaffrey. I the opportunity looks so great against the Cowboys giving up the most points. And I'm like, it should be. This should. Never take the mystery box. Stick with what you know. If it turns out that the mystery box is great, you can play them next week. Don't take the mystery box.
You can take it, just don't start it. Take it,
right.
it.
Take it. Don't start
open it and play it right away.
Almost every time I've started it, it has burned me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but those times that you take it, you take the mystery box and you start it and it goes off. Boy, those are feel like you're a genius. It's
Yes.
so fulfilling and
So
rewarding
like
that
I
you
saw
feel like, well, look how brilliant I am. I
totally.
can do this
You're
every
like, I
week.
have
I'll
a
sign up.
beautiful mind. I
Right.
have a beautiful
Exactly.
mind. I
Exactly.
saw it all coming together. And
I mean,
then
we all fall for it.
he pulled a straight Blutarski. 0.0.
Bad.
Brutal.
Well, that reminds me. I mean, that reminds me of Chigaconquo and, and a
Well,
fail
in the
on
same
my,
team,
yeah,
I
yeah,
did the
on
same.
my,
I took out AJ Barner, and because I was like,
didn't do
more.
great either, by the
He
way.
didn't. He only got like 3 points. He had a
He was
terrible game.
responsible for a lot of points with his blocking. He's very
Yeah,
good. He's very
but
good, but
Chig he would have been the second highest receiver on the team.
couldn't believe it. Only 2
Zero.
targets.
I got 2 Blutarskis in one
Oh,
lineup,
well, yeah, you're not going to win that one.
and I did
Yeah.
it.
You can't win. You can't win with two Blutarskis.
You know what it was? It was one of those things, and I think we all do this sometimes. I was playing the guy who's #1 in our league, has this killer team, and I'm like, I need some dice rolls to beat this guy. I can't beat him with the lineup I've got. I need to figure out who I think is going to go off, and but
I think that is the right attitude. Honestly, I support that feeling.
well,
If
that's
that's
what
the
it
truth,
was. But it just
yeah,
it
you got to
rarely
take your
works
shot.
out.
Of course, you're not. It's your Davy and David and that's Goliath. I mean,
Yeah, you're like, I gotta take some, and that's why I switched out to Conquo because I'm like, they're gonna need to pass. They're gonna be down. He's the second highest receiver. It should be Chig, and instead he threw a touchdown like Bellinger or somebody. I
no,
don't know.
that's New York.
Oh, that's
Bellinger,
right, the New York over Theo Johnson thing.
the
So
other right,
yeah,
right.
but I mean, I was just I don't know. So 2 bagels on my dice rolls. When you roll the dice, you have to remember that the fantasy football dice is one side is a 6, and all 5 other sides are a what?
1 or a 0.
Are 0.
Or 0.
Yeah, are 0.
Right?
Are blank. All the other sides are blank.
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 So you're like, come on, 6.
Come on, 6. 0. That really is the case.
Yeah, it really, but it going into it. And sometimes that's just the straits that you're in. I mean, especially this week, we've got 6 teams on bye, right? So it's going to be one of those situations where, I mean, you may be in a real world, like you may be picking up a lot of crazy names and having to start them. And it's also a great week to keep, like, when you look at waivers go through, see who everybody dropped. Because I'll tell you the truth. This is a different
aftermarket can be delightful.
Yeah. This is a different league. And I am stacked. I'm undefeated and I've got high points and I'm killing it, right? And I want to stay undefeated. I'm gonna probably beat this guy regardless because my team is great, but I want to drop Kenneth Walker III and pick up Atlanta's defense for this week.
Sure.
Versus Miami.
Yeah.
I think that's the only guy that I feel that I can actually drop.
Who's your other defense?
I've got Vidal. Cleveland.
Well, Vidal fell right
and
back
Cleveland's
down
playing us, right? Isn't Cleveland playing the Cowboys this week?
I don't know.
Is that right? Anyway, whoever they're playing, it's not a good week for them. And I had them because I knew the wind and the rain in Miami. So I'm trying to stick to that, go against Miami situation. But
no, totally agree.
So I'm trying to pick on them as much
Cleveland.
as I can.
No, they're playing New England. They're playing New England.
Dallas is?
No, Cleveland is.
Cleveland is playing New England. Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, I don't like the defense versus
But you
New
also
England.
don't want to lose Cleveland? Is that the problem?
No, well, yeah, I think I do have them set. I think next week they play Minnesota or something good. They have another good matchup coming, and I've got a bye week that I could use them for. And I don't want to drop them.
would not drop Kenneth Walker for a freaking defense.
Would you drop Cleveland instead?
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep rolling with
Cleveland's not that popular. Okay.
Well, I mean, 39 points, this week.
No, again, but that was.
Well, we knew it was the matchup of the weather.
Yeah.
Right.
They're playing Miami in Cleveland.
You know what? You're right. I'm going to go ahead and
go
take
of
that
the
off.
defense. Don't drop Kenneth Walker for a 1-week defense. That's just dumb.
Yeah, you're right. I'm glad we had this chat.
Yeah, don't do it.
Do you have any I told you so's?
No, mostly the universe told me so. So,
Uh, yeah. Well,
oh, except for the Monangai thing, which
yeah,
I
the
told you,
Monangai.
Swift is battling a bit of a groin injury, and I knew his usage would go up. It absolutely did. He scored a touchdown. I think it's looking real good for him. I grabbed as many shares as I could, so that was the one major I told you so I had.
Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, again, we'll talk about him later, but I think that it's maybe too late now. Like, I think you're going to have to spend up to get him. Like when you said it,
Oh yeah,
free
he
of
was free.
charge,
He was
free
free.
of
I got him
charge.
for free in every league, totally for
So
free, just hanging out of the wire.
we told you so.
Yep,
Uh,
told you.
Jordan Addison, I told you so.
Yes, you did.
Jordan Addison, 12 targets, 9 catches, 128 yards. Wow, 19.3 points. Quinshawn Judkins, I said would be
You
the
called
number
that one,
one.
boy.
3 touchdowns, one over 40-yard rushing touchdown, which in some leagues gives you a bonus for the long rush. So he finished with 30 effing points. And then I said, sleeper, flyer,
Gadsden,
Rondé Gadsden.
boy.
This guy finished the site at number one. Forget about sleeper flyer. He took the whole thing. 30, he was 3,300 in DraftKings. He had 7 catches, 164 yards, and a touchdown, 31.9 points.
Listen, I got to give you your flowers on that one. You talk about the dice roll guy that absolutely came up sixes. That was it. It was
Yeah,
Gadsden. I went with Okonkwo, you went with Gadsden, and Gadsden was the sixes, and all the blank sides belong to Okonkwo. Which, wait a
yeah.
minute, if I do, we got to go revisit the one I told you so from the Thursday night game because we recorded before Thursday night's game, which I said Aaron Rodgers would either score 2 touchdowns or
Oh, right.
4 touchdowns.
But he
It would
won't score
not be
three.
three,
That's
four
right.
touchdowns.
That was pretty impressive. When the third one happened, I went, all right, well, here
There's
we
got to be
go.
a fourth. And sure
We're
enough,
here.
when he
We're
hit the
here.
fourth, I was like, I fucking said it.
Told ya. I
You.
told you
I told
so.
you so.
And of course, my favorite, I told you so, is I got my lock of the week, even though I got the actual over under wrong. I said it was 55. It was 54 and a half. But even if it was
So you
55,
were right. You hit the over.
66 points in the Cowboys Washington game. That was the one that made you money. So
And
that
the
makes
one
me
that I
happy.
said, I wound up, I bet all of my dice rolls and I wound up in that, particularly because I went heavy on Indianapolis.
Mm.
Which that turned out great. And I said Carolina -1. If I was gonna have a lock, that would be a lock, and that turned out to be pretty fruitful as well. So
I forgot what was the final score of that game. It was so much of Carolina game.
I don't know. Well, they were playing the
Can't
Jets, right?
remember. Yeah,
Hold on, you
they were
talk.
playing the Tyrod Taylor Jets.
Yeah,
Well, okay. So
hold
before we
on.
get into,
Wait a
you
minute.
know,
I'll just pause it. So yeah, the Carolina Panthers won 13-6. Not a gorgeous outing, but they certainly beat the margin. So I had Carolina -1, Pats -7, and Cards +6.5, which was if Brissett plays, which he did. So I bet it. So I won those three. The two that I missed that I whiffed on, but they're all dice rolls, was Jacksonville +3, which we
mm,
talked ourselves right into that one, and
yeah,
Vikings +1.5 at home, and they ended up losing by 6. So that didn't go as
yeah,
expected.
that number
Carson
one
Wentz
wide
revenge narrative
receiver,
didn't quite happen, but
that
he was
that
still
that
slinging it. He got it to your guy. So
well, that number one, best pass defense, number one against that sure fell apart. Both Devontae and AJ killed it, man.
oh,
The only one
listen,
who I thought Goddard was going to go off, and he was the one that suffered. It was a very strange
and Hurts
situation.
had his best passing day of the season.
And can we take a moment and say, I think maybe Saquon is
Toast.
like not a, like maybe he had that last year really. I don't. Maybe he can't keep going this year because he used it all up.
Maybe I don't know, but it was he's not producing. So and the
I,
whole try
I
and get him going thing. I mean, they've heard it over and over every week, and it ain't happening. So
It's really not. And even when they
yeah.
get it to him, he doesn't look the same Saquon. He does. He looks
No, wait a minute.
different.
Rewind the tape on last week. Remember those first two runs?
Those look
He
great.
he looked absolutely like Saquon. I
He
don't
did.
know what. Then they stopped giving him the ball,
Yes.
And then he went cold, and I don't know. So
Yeah, it's very
there
strange.
are flashes where you're like, oh no, he
Right.
still got it. And then there's the rest of the game where you're like, can you give him the ball? I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
Where he looks like CJ Anderson out
But
there.
if you remember correctly, and I was talking during the drafts, and I was saying, if you have a top 3 pick, don't pick Saquon Barkley. I was definitive about it. I said it many, many, many times, very loudly. I understand you get to pick 7, 8, 9, 10. He's there. Yeah, you're taking Saquon Barkley.
You know what, though, Greg? We all know you so well that we think, all right, is he playing mind games? Does he want, uh,
Does he
is he
want
saying,
Saquon? Secretly,
right?
you know my only real man crush is Derrick Henry, and I didn't take him either. And he had 3 touchdowns in the opening round, and then nothing since. And I was like, and even though I went with Ashton Genty over Derrick Henry, it still seems to be a better play overall.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, man. Well, should we jump into the waiver wire
Yeah,
stuff, or
let's
is there
do it.
any
Let's just
other
get the
topics?
waivers in there, and then we can wrap up this recap edition.
Well, let's start by at least saying who's on bye, right? So we've got the Cardinals,
Mhm.
the Lions, the Jags, the Raiders, the Rams, and the Seahawks all on bye, right? So it's going to be crazy out
It's a
there. It's the
lot.
first one of the Bye-mageddons or Apocalypse or however you want to look at it. It's going to be crazy. So I hope that you've got your fab strategies ready. What
Uh,
about quarterbacks?
Rogers has entered the chat.
Ah,
He has a revenge game, another one, versus Green Bay.
right.
Considering what he's been doing, I think you must consider grabbing Rodgers and starting him. The same is true of Flacco. And if for some reason Jackson Dart is still on your waiver
Yeah, we've
wire,
been saying this for weeks now. I mean, it's ridiculous.
he must be rostered, if not started. I mean,
Yeah.
the guy's a points machine. Again, the new Josh Allen. You
Yep.
heard it here
Yeah.
first.
You did. You absolutely did. Well, I mean, this is a sick one, but Andy Dalton is going to probably be starting
For
for Carolina,
Carolina.
and but they do play Buffalo. Buffalo's defense has been mid. Like they used to be great. I used to be
Agreed.
afraid of them.
They are coming off a bye week, though.
They
Rest
are.
really helps defenses.
It does, of course. But you know what? That would just mean because even so, that would maybe mean that they're down by a bunch, and Andy will just have to throw it a lot. Now, hopefully, he'll throw it to his guys, you know, and he won't get hurt or whatever. Because Parsons had 3 sacks in the last game, So I say maybe just if he's out there, and I don't know. Is Cincinnati still a team to try to pick on, or has their defense gotten a little bit better
There seems to be a distinct uptick in their abilities since
ever since
receiving a
Flacco?
quarterback that is capable of connecting with the receivers. And this is not flukish. This is a matter of motivation. It's one thing when you feel like there's nothing to play for, and it's an entirely different thing when you know there's something to play for.
Exactly. So I mean, maybe Tyrod Taylor versus Cincy? Maybe. I don't know. Certainly, it's going to be hard out there, guys, to find somebody. I'm just saying maybe, and then if Penix is out there, Michael Penix Jr. might be out there. He's playing Miami, so we all know good things happen. I'm assuming that's going to be just Bijan Robinson Festival, but you know, picking on Miami always seems to work.
Yeah,
Um, how about should I start us off with running backs?
sure, go for it.
Well, we talked about Monangai. You talked about it last week. This
He's at
week,
the top of my list.
he's
Yeah.
going to be at the top of the list. Tyrone Tracy is out there. He actually contributed with Scattaboo. It's interesting. I wonder versus Philly what will happen. But it's like I said, it's hard out there. Brashard Smith, we've been saying it for weeks and weeks. He got a little more involved. I know Pacheco seems to be getting the majority now, but Hunt is falling off and he got injured. I still like Brashard Smith. It's gonna by the end of the season, he really should be the running back one over there in Kansas City, unless they trade for somebody within the next couple of weeks. And RJ Harvey is playing Dallas. this week. And I know he hasn't had a ton of opportunities, but this could be a game where he gets quite a few opportunities. And last but not least, Isaiah Davis backing up Brees Hall. Look, it's a Jet, and Jets are not fun to manage. But again, by apocalypse, and I think Brees Hall within the next couple of weeks is going to be one of those running backs that finds himself with a new team. So Isaiah Davis will be the number one. It's just a matter of
So really, it's the time to
when.
grab and stash,
Right.
grab and stash, and I like that because he's very talented. I like him a lot.
Yep.
And I think, again, a guy that's probably still lurking out there, he gets picked up and dropped a lot, and that's Tyler Algier. But as you said,
Good one.
versus
Great one.
Miami, I mean, at what point do they just be like, let Tyler take it for now? We got this. Don't worry about it. I just think it'd be a good.
And he's heavily involved, even
He
regardless.
is. He's got a strong. They really do. I mean, much to the chagrin of Bijan Robinson managers. Absolutely.
Sure.
But he does. They less this year than last year.
Right.
But I think this is one of those games where he will be of value.
It wasn't Arthur Smith still coordinating or whatever about last year?
Yes, he was.
So that's why.
I hate
that. Guys, really terrible for fantasy. That's a great call, though.
How Rodgers managed to reel off 4 touchdowns with Arthur Smith. And I thought Arthur Smith was going to root it. Oh, and by the way, I want to discuss this really quickly. It was so funny to me that at the beginning of that game, the Cincy-Pittsburgh game, I mean, Rodgers and that team looked like a well-oiled machine. They were just marching and slicing and dicing. Everything was working.
Yep.
Then there was one play, and I want to say it might have been Jaylen Warren. I think it was Jaylen Warren went the wrong direction, went to the wrong place, ruined the play, and Rodgers just couldn't help being Rodgers, and he threw a hissy fit, and everybody saw it like right on the field, right on the camera, everything. And at that point, that's when the team was like, you know what? Fuck this old guy, dressing me down on the field in front of everyone.
Wait. Did you see the video of the big defensive lineman celebrating after he threw that 80-yarder to Freiermuth? He went over and he grabbed him and he kind of took him down, Rodgers, while he was celebrating, and Rodgers got up and he pushed him off, and he was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like yelling at his own guy. I get it, but that's the most Rodgers-y thing.
That's what I'm saying. And when he does that, he loses the team, and they really didn't pick back up until after halftime.
Right.
So Rodgers is going to continue shooting himself in the foot, but when he's not, the team looks incredible.
I'm sure you've got a bunch of wide receivers for us to think about for the wire.
Have a whole bunch. No, I have 2. Tez Johnson, who I picked up a bunch of shares of. If he's still out there, you got to grab Tezzy. And a guy, okay, you are in trouble.
Right.
And you're like, I can't leave the space open. I have to put a name in there.
Somebody in. Yeah.
Apparently, there is chemistry between Cam Ward and this Shamir DK, whose last name, let's be honest, looks like Dyke.
It does.
And they go out of their way to not say that and just go DK. But there seems, I haven't seen him have chemistry with anyone, including Calvin Ridley, all season.
Or Iomanner, really.
Not at all with Iomanner. We thought he would be the guy. That was another dice roll. But it seems like he has chemistry with this DK guy. So if you got to fill in, it seems like that's the guy that he has something going on with, even though it's low flow. It's
okay. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Wan'Dale Robinson or DK? Wan'Dale Robinson versus Philly.
Wan'Dale Robinson.
So he's out there. What about Romeo Doubs versus Pittsburgh?
Romeo Doubs.
How about Alec Pierce versus Tennessee?
Coin flip.
Mm-hmm. And
in fact, I would lean towards DK over Alec Pierce, only because Alec Pierce is still banged up, kind of. His usage is uneven. I'd like it
pretty good this week.
Right, this week. Yeah. Which he was a guy I said 2 weeks ago would be the guy.
Right.
Okay.
Well, so you were a little early. You were a little
Which I
early.
usually am. I'm usually a little early.
Well, just ask you. You'll say.
But I don't where I don't know. It's a coin flip.
Right. Because these are the guys I have on my list, right? Because these are guys that are about 50% or less rostered.
Rostered. Yeah.
So they're out there. And then there is one that there's two actually you should keep an eye on, right? Number one is T. Higgins. A lot of people dropped that guy because he was doing
Really?
absolutely nothing,
He's in
right?
one of our leagues.
Take
I'm
a
trying
look.
to
He
get him.
should be. I don't
Yep.
blame you one bit. He's absolutely so. Take a look for T. After what we've seen happening here, even though 20 attempts went to Chase, he scored a touchdown and he had about 9 targets as well. He did it's starting to work every which way.
Yeah.
And then take a look. Some people dropped Zay Flowers because of the bye week and
And he's
because
been
he's been
terrible.
garbage
Yeah.
without Jackson. Well, they're both going to come back, right? So take a look. Maybe you want to try it. They're playing gosh, who are Chicago. They're playing Chicago. So,
That brings up an interesting point. When you
take
go
a look.
cruising for free players, after the waivers have all cleared and everything, scroll to the very bottom of the list because they will have 0 point projection because they're on bye.
They're on bye. Yep.
And that's where you can find these gems that somebody dropped hoping no one would notice. And that's where you can pick up somebody really good for free, is making room for them on the bye week roster. And so just when you go looking, when you're like, let's see who's left, let's see who got dropped, scroll all the way to the bottom to see the bye week guys. That's where they're going to be. And that's where you might be able to grab something choice.
That's a great tip. That's a great tip because it can absolutely help you. And people don't see it coming. By the time they see it, it's too late.
I have to admit, I've noticed it a few times where I'm like, oh, okay. And I just,
Yeah, sure. I just did it with Isaiah Likely.
There you go.
He was out there and I thought, you know what? Who cares? Look, it's hard out there at the tight end position if you don't have somebody that you're playing regularly, and most of us don't. I tried a Conquo. I had I thought about Barner. I got look.
The problem is they all have that one game. And if you don't have them that one game, there's very few that the offense is really focused on getting the tight end the ball. Very few. And
well, I just knew that I could get him now, and I'm still going to make claims for other tight ends, but I'm just going to stash him, because he was out there available. He was the only one they had, they were on bye, so you can claim them. That's the other thing is, they're not like you don't have to wait 3 days and put in a bid or whatever. You can get them immediately because they were off. Yeah. And people just aren't picking them because they're not going to get any points. So it's a good time to go
and
stash.
They're not showing up in the search because they're all the way below the no names.
Yeah.
So most people don't even go look down there.
Yep.
And I will say this, not to look forward to week 9, but Brock Bowers will be back, and I have a lot of shares of Brock Bowers, and I'm just waiting for that difference maker to kick in. And I think we'll see it starting in week 9.
Has it affected any of your teams to the point where you don't think that you're really in contention for even the playoffs at this point, or is it too early?
The teams that are burnt are burnt. And it ain't because they didn't have Brock Bowers.
It ain't Brock Bowers.
It ain't Brock Bowers that did it. Yeah.
I got you. Just curious. I was just curious.
I've done a pretty good job of backing up Brock in a lot of leagues. So I haven't been totally burnt on it, but it isn't the same. It isn't the same as what a full strength Brock Bowers is going to be able to do. And I think that's we're going to get in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk tight ends. Available in some Evan Ingram is still out there, and he's starting to take on that role that we predicted at the beginning of the season. Didn't happen. It seems to be happening now. He seems to be involved. Evan Ingram is a great get.
And the matchup is against
Cowboys.
Beloved Cowboys.
That's right. The Cowboys
have a touchdown.
Could be great.
Yes.
As you said, your guy Gadsden, he is out there on most wires still. You were the only one that saw that coming.
You got a bid high though now.
You crystal balled that one real good. And of course, means that he's going to now score 3 points next week.
Well, I will say moving forward, his schedule for tight ends is bad. But, look, so what? Some people are matchup proof. We'll see if he's one. We'll see.
Loveland, and of course, you brought it up, the Cole Kmet situation.
Correct. The back, that's a great one. I don't think people are looking at it. He's the type of guy that right now This
He's
is halfway through the
talented. He's
season.
young.
Correct.
Yes.
I love
I
now the
I love the
opportunity.
opportunity too.
Yep.
I love the opportunity too. What you got? Anybody else?
Well,
And if you say a Conquo, I'm kicking you off the show.
dude, he's not dead to me,
He is
but
dead to me.
he's dead to you. He's not dead to me, but I will wait. I will not say his name today, other than what I just did. I'm just gonna say Dalton Schultz. Um,
Okay.
he's going to be playing San Francisco. He had like 9 targets or 9 receptions. Can't remember. So he had a lot, 98 yards or something. And Nico Collins may be out. And if that's the case, when Nico went out, it was Schultz who was the benefactor. So take a look at him. How about Cade Otton?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Nine
Absolutely.
targets, 85 yards. Mike Evans is done.
Yeah. I was gonna say Mike
Amika's
Evans ain't coming back. So
Emeka's still banged up. I mean, he wasn't 100%.
yeah,
And we've seen this happen before. When everyone else goes away, it'll be Tez Johnson and Cade Otton and maybe a Sterling Shepard once in a while. But I like for tight end, Cade Otton. And then, you mentioned the other two that, 2 others that I had on there. But those are just the only 2 that I
I
had that,
like that. I
we
like that a
hadn't.
lot. Actually, I think the Kate Otten, if he's available, again, you're gonna have to pay for him this week because everybody saw it. Last night.
And we're all hurting. We all need somebody.
Yeah,
Everyone's going to need somebody. So it's going to be, you're going to have to, everything is going to be more expensive this week because the demand is so much higher because everybody's on buy. All the big names are on buy. Defenses,
I got 3 juicy, and you probably have the same ones. Atlanta versus Miami. Cue
number
it
one with a
up.
bullet.
Totally. Cincy versus the Jets.
I
They
got
seem
it.
to be reinvigorated. And of course, Indy versus Tennessee. Great defense, great situation. Absolutely. These 3 are going to help you win your week.
I got one more because Colts probably aren't out there. This one probably is. Great matchup. Tampa versus New Orleans.
Mm.
Tampa's defense actually looked
They look
pretty
pretty
good
good. The
yesterday.
defense was holding up their end of the bargain.
It was Baker who was off.
Man,
Now
the whole offense.
Seattle's defense also was like crazy amazing. Like wait, like they're Legion of Boom again, in my opinion.
Oh,
What I saw
absolutely. Well, I
was
mean, you're talking about
elite.
the guy that was the defensive coordinator from the Ravens is who is the head coach now, Mike
Mm.
McDan, Mike McWillie.
There's too many of these guys that are too
Yeah,
close together. I don't know.
but that's who is the head coach in Seattle, and he has obviously made rebuilding the defense a focal point, and you see it now.
Yeah.
And if they are out there, you should grab them, though they probably aren't.
What, Tampa Bay?
No,
Uh,
Seattle.
oh, Seattle. Oh, for sure. Yeah, they're gone. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been elite. They're I doubt if they are out there, absolutely get them.
Yeah.
And then
Well, there's some weeks I've seen them
start.
show up out there. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, sometimes you can't give up a guy for a defense. And so you got to make a choice. And, in
Yeah.
the face of a bad situation, you'll make a choice.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, that's all I've got,
That's all
my
I got,
friend.
too. I think this was a great episode. Good luck on the wires out there, guys. This has been Fantasy Football, the week 7 recap. Oh, my God. Fantasy football. Harsh
Reality.
reality.